not accommodate everybody. But others is because of a mindset that is keeping them in a state where they cannot get engaged. And in this case, we're talking about mostly young people, because people are coming from universities and they have a lot in their mind, and that's what we are going to talk about. To help us get a good perspective of this, I have Gabriel with me, Mungai with me in the studio, who's going to help us break this into pieces. Our friend Alan is coming into the studio shortly to take care of something. Now, hundreds of thousands, if not over a million people getting released into the market every year and not getting assimilated into the system, job market. And as a result of that, we have a situation where we have a humongous number,
influx,
yes, of people unemployed.
Yes.
You have people who left universities years ago.
10, 15 years ago.
They're still unemployed.
Yes.
They've been unable, from my perspective, they've been unable to deploy whatever they went to school for, to help them deploy themselves, and they're not getting jobs.
Yes.
10 years down the line. First and foremost, what is happening so that we can get to how to overcome that?
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for having me. What is happening is a terrible situation, and it's a combination of a number of factors. First of all, I want to tell our viewers that this is not a political conversation.
Yes, it's not political.
It's a psychological conversation.
We have no attachment to any political parties or any political leaders, and we are not pushing any agenda.
Any political agenda here, but we're just discussing the issue from a psychological point of view. Now, the issue starts with the government first, because the work of government is to create a good environment for investors to come in the country and invest. And every country in the world that has its people employed, be it China, be it Japan, be it anywhere in the world, it's not the government that employs people. It is the private sector that is able to bring on people into employment. So when you see we have an employment crisis, first of all, the big question is, where is the private sector? Even though we complain to the government, employment is given by private sector largely, but it is the government that creates the
enabling environment
for private sector to invest. So that is partly one of the issues, and that is a political and a leadership issue.
Let's do this. Let's take a short break. I'm seeing, okay, they've finally been able to get you on camera. Okay, yes, it is the government that creates the enabling environment.
So that is a failure on our leadership. Purely total leadership, be it opposition, the government, whoever is in leadership has failed. The second aspect of it is educational.
Yes, it's educational.
Yeah, it's educational.
So government failing to provide an enabling environment.
Yes.
And then the second, educational in terms of?
Educational in terms of the people that are offering education, or the institutions that we have, are missing out in terms of balance, whereby they are not asking themselves what are the number needed for doctors out there. They're just churning out doctors without care. What are the numbers that are needed in the country, and what are the specific what we call this specialization that we need in the market, so that our university and colleges can limit. If, for example, we need 1,000 oncologists, why is it that we have too many CEOs training and very few oncologists, and yet cancer is becoming the big thing now? So
kind of like what we have now in the journalism. Because what happens right now, we are churning out of the colleges and universities so many people out of that sector, so many people. So what is happening is that you have so many people in the market who are not deployed.
Yes.
And then, so companies, what they're doing now, because, you know, when you flood the market,
you flood the market, the prices
yes, you
down.
kill that industry. So
Yes.
the salaries of journalists have gone down.
Yeah.
The demand, yes.
The work has doubled.
Yes. And
for peanuts.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's a problem. Yeah,
that's a situation. So now this is coming from the educational side.
Yes.
Our educational system needs to work with the market to find out the needs of the market. We have a system that cares more about profit, that doesn't care what you become when they send you out. They don't care some of the courses you are doing, even if they are marketable. But they are still offering them locally.
They just take you through the process, and whatever happens after that, they don't give a hoot.
Yeah. And it's partly because even of the educational financing. So we have this financing coming in. We have these young people who are hungry for education, and someone wants to make something out of them. So they just give you money for education. You go do any course that you want to do, and then I will be demanding the money from you afterwards. So that's the second failure. It's an educational, the school program needs to be like rejected. Then thirdly, it's a personal failure. And that's where I want us to dwell, because what is within us, it is in our control. What is without us probably is not in our control. So there's a huge number of people that are not employed because of personal reasons.
Explain that further.
There are people who cannot find a job, and others who cannot keep a job because of the mindset they have. The way they conduct themselves, the way they show up for a job is the way that they cannot sustain a job.
You know, it's so interesting. There's a time I did an interview with a guy. I mean, he's supposed to be... when you appear for an interview, you're supposed to look your best.
Yes.
This guy comes dressed in a shady-looking hoodie. You know, I looked at him and I questioned, is this guy normal?
Yes.
He's dressed in a hoodie.
Yes.
A dark hoodie, you know, has it on his head. He's coming for an interview. I was shocked. And I'm thinking, in your mind, where were you going?
Where were you going?
Yes, because you're supposed to come and you should do everything to impress the person who's interviewing you.
Yes, and the first time...
It's a first impressions matter a lot.
It is what matters the most.
Yes.
Yeah, if I can't like you from the beginning, it will take a long time for me to like you.
Yeah, true.
A long time. And you don't have so many minutes in the interview room.
True.
Just a few minutes. And if you can't crack it, then you have lost it.
Because you make a decision in most interviews. The decision is made when the person sees you.
Yes. Even before you talk to them.
Before you open your mouth and talk.
You have already been
moment
judged.
You walk into the room.
The judgment. Kang.
Somebody has looked at you, you're wearing a hoodie. It's not the cleanest hoodie. You know, you just look like...
Your presentations are awful.
You look like last year's bird nest. You know, you've not taken at least care.
Yes.
And another one, I'm just supporting what you're saying, is you. Somebody comes for an interview, has not done research whatsoever.
On what is coming
on the company, the role, and take, for instance, a media house like this.
Yes.
You're coming to interview for a job and I ask you, have you ever watched anything on our station?
Yes.
No. So what are you bringing? Anyway, let's continue. Sorry, I had to express that because at times I sit and I wonder, dude, do some research. You're coming to EBN asking for a job.
Yes.
You are telling us you can change this institution, you can help us become the best in the industry. You have never watched what we are doing.
So how can you transform
How will you transform what?
What is your basis? You know? So partly is the attitude. And that is the number one thing. There are a lot of people with a stinking, I call it a stinking attitude.
Yes.
Where you have a don't care mindset. You just think you are entitled to the job because you have a certificate. But I can tell you, a job and a certificate are two different things, and they are far apart. There's a lot that needs to happen for you to breach them. Everyone has a certificate. If you stood on the road and told people, bring out your certificate, you would be scared because there are people walking around with masters. There are people walking around with so many degrees, and yet they haven't been able to practically monetize that paperwork. So it's a totally different thing. So your mindset really needs to change when it comes to employment. I don't want to deal with employment only. I also want to deal with the word you've said, deployment. Because deployment is an alternative to employment. While you can be deployed under an employment environment, you can also be deployed in a business, in entrepreneurship, in community service. Your services can be deployed anywhere, even outside of employment.
Before we get to that, when we started, you mentioned there's government that's supposed to create an enabling environment. Then there's education. Just picking up something on education. Do you think that the education system in our country has been designed or curated in such a way that it prepares people to deploy themselves?
No. No, and that's where I want us to dive. Because the Bible says, it's in Romans 6, I think chapter 16, that don't you know that whoever you give yourself to obey,
to him you become a slave.
To him you become a slave. So we have a system here that was not made favorably for us. It was made to make you a slave of the colonizer. And you, as Fred, have given yourself to obey that system and to follow through with it. So the best it can make you is an employee. Outside of that, it has no solutions whatsoever.
So it was developed by the colonizer.
Yes.
And the purpose for the colonizer developing that system was to churn out good employees who will come back and work for him.
For him, yeah. Submit to him and offer what he needs. So that system, if you give yourself to it, it is conditioning you for employment only. The word here is only. It's not that employment has a problem, but it's conditioning you for employment only.
So that's the reason why we have master's students who've done, BCom and all that, still trekking.
Yes.
They cannot deploy whatever they learned to start off things for themselves because the system prepared them only for employment.
To wait for someone to ask for their services. It didn't tell them how you can make advantage or take advantage of what you know and practicalize it in your life.
Yes.
So all of us are moving around hoping that someone is going to need our services. While our services are already needed. We just have to come up with a structure to deliver the services. The other time, last week, we shared about how Africa is in need of almost everything.
Yes.
Literally everything. Africa is a growing continent.
Yes.
Food is not enough. Food itself, like the most basic thing.
Yes.
Food is not enough. Health.
Yes.
We have a lot of issues in our health sector.
Yes.
We have a lot of issues in our clothing. Just do the most basic needs in Africa are yet to be sorted. Let alone now wants and luxury.
Yes.
The most basic need. Housing. We still have a lot of housing issues in this continent.
True.
Transport. My friend, there are places with no bridges.
Yes.
People are still using canoes.
Like if you go to DRC, I was being told this.
Yes.
DRC is an amazing country.
Yes.
The infrastructure there is non-existent. It only makes sense in Kinshasa.
Wow.
In moving from one part of the country to the other, there are no roads.
Literally.
No roads.
You become a forest man.
Yeah, there are no roads. As in, you walk, you move to a place, like, and it's almost intentional because of the colonizers again.
Yes.
They don't want roads to be done so that people don't get to the mines. So you have mines in certain
Somewhere.
areas, and the only thing that they are
Choppers,
there
yeah.
is runways.
Yes.
They have runways.
Yes. And choppers.
Yes, runways, period. Because planes land, get all the minerals, and then out they go.
Yeah. So we have so many needs. We just have the wrong mind.
Yes.
Like, if you looked at the situation we are in, you would wonder why we are still complaining about employment in our country. Barely do we have enough food, like just food.
Yes.
If all the people that are educated went back to the villages and put their minds, not their certificates,
Yes.
the education they've gotten.
All that information.
See,
and
education
knowledge
is what remains after learning. Not the certificate.
Yes.
All that education, you've been exposed to a university. You've seen what they do. Even if you don't go directly to farm, there's something you've carried from those institutions, from the exposure you've had, from the internet, from the social media you've taken for years of education. There's something you can carry from there.
Yes.
To go take it to the village and transform what is happening in the village. All right? But we have been conditioned to not look that way, but look at someone and beg and complain that there are no jobs.
And that's the same, that is more or less the same mindset
Yes.
that the African governments have.
Yes.
We are constantly stretching out our bowls to the Western powers. Give
To
us.
borrow, yes. To borrow. While they are depending on us to make the money they are giving us. How so? They are waiting on our raw materials to go and process,
And
sell to us in billions, then offer a portion of the billions to us as aid.
It's just madness.
So we have such a wrong mindset about what is happening around us. In my view, I feel like we are blind of our realities. Because if we took time just to look around us and decide that we are the solutions that we need, most of the issues in our countries will be sorted internally.
Yes.
Most of the things we import. I was talking to a friend of mine and I told him that if I became a president in one day, just one day,
Yes.
there are over 1,000 things that would never be imported in this country.
Can you imagine we import toothpick?
He told, yes. I told him, we cannot import toothpick. We cannot import needles.
Yes.
We cannot import umbrellas,
Yes.
gumboots, shoes. Like we have all the leather in the world. There are things we import. What do we call this? Matchsticks. We import so much. So much that is unnecessary, that can be produced locally. Remember, we used to import polythene papers.
Yes.
Remember?
Yeah.
And then one day the government said no more.
Stop it. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we have all the carriers we need.
Yes.
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
So the capacity to produce is available.
Yes.
The knowledge to produce is available. It just needs one, what do we call it? Is it an executive order? To just stop the thing. Let people suffer for 2 weeks.
Yes.
After 2 weeks, they have everything.
They say
they will
the necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes.
We've not gotten, and I wish universities would and colleges would do this, training people not to become employees.
To be solution givers.
Yes.
That's just it.
Because currently, we are loading people with information.
Yes.
And unfortunately, when you look at the books that we are still using, are books that were used long time ago. So the knowledge we are giving people is obsolete.
Expired knowledge, yeah.
Yes,
it cannot
it's
help
obsolete.
them. I remember when I was in college, and sorry to share this, I won't specify which college, that is university.
Yes.
I have graduated with a mathematics and computer degree. And in one of our computer lessons, we were doing mobile application development.
Yes.
And I remember the lecturer walked in with a CD. A CD, a tape,
yes.
you know, that had the code that we were supposed to use to program a mobile application. And the code was of the first phones that came. The code was dated 1999 to 2001. And this is around 2014, 2015. Android has already come into the market. We should be programming Android.
You're programming the Katululus.
We are programming the Katululu, a program to make a call. You know? And I just looked at it and I felt very helpless. Because I knew after this programming lesson, there's nothing it can help me in the current world.
You're being taught how to program a Katululu instead of programming
the Android, the smartphone.
Yes.
Which is, and you should not be taught what is in the past.
Yes.
They should be focusing on what is coming.
Yes.
You should be trained for the future, not for the past. A lot of degrees we have in our colleges, they are degrees from the past. The accounting systems of 1980. But nowadays, accounting is being done by softwares. Almost 90% of it, you know. So if they're not preparing you for tomorrow, man, they're just messing you up. So you have people who are out here, they have knowledge that is literally not applicable in the market.
As
and
in,
after
it's
you've
obsolete.
gone around, you realize, man, what I know is not what is needed.
It's like you're being trained.
Yes.
It's like you're being trained how to design a mkokoteni.
Yes.
And yet people have moved to a point right now we are taking, you know, we are landing spacecrafts.
We are
in
moving
mass.
out of Earth.
Yes.
So you wonder how practical what you are getting is. So that's another problem. Now I wanted us to deal with deployment.
Yes.
And deal with a number of avenues, because we said it is what you know that changes what you believe. It is what you believe that shapes your mindset. Then it is your mindset that dictates what you do. So I want us to share a few ideas which we can explore as a people. All right? These ideas are just mine and they are not conclusive and you don't have to take all of them. You can try what works for you. So the first idea on deployment, I call it personal development stream.
Personal development stream.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of us are good at something, but there are faculties of ourselves that are so underdeveloped that they don't afford us the opportunity to serve.
Give me an example.
For example, I have a gift in writing. I have a gift in speaking. But until I did personal development, I couldn't package it into something.
Yeah.
All right? The reason why I'm here is I have developed a few faculties of my gift. I am able to communicate, to deliver a speech, to organize my thought so that it can help someone. That is personal development.
Yes.
The gift of talking is still there.
Yes.
Even when I was a kid, I could still talk.
Yes.
But I was talking nonsense.
Now it's been refined.
Now it just...
You are talking Madhawadhani.
I was talking anything and everything.
Yes.
But after refining it,
yes,
now it can be packaged. It can be packaged into a training. It can be packaged to an interview like this. It can be packaged into a book. It can be packaged to a talk and things like that. And I can earn from that. You get me?
Yes.
I am a gifted writer. But I used to write everything. Songs, you know, I used to, everything. Lyrics,
yes.
poems, and everything. Until I packaged it. Now I have a publishing house. I can help you from zero to publish a book. You see?
Yes.
That has been packaged. That is purely personal development. So there are many things that we do have. Some of them are skills, some of them are experience, some of them are gifts, some of them are talents.
Yes.
The way you are talking about that gentleman, he has a certificate.
Yes.
He probably knows one or two things. True. But the packaging, man, you just can't handle
horrible.
it. It's horrible.
Horrible, 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 horrible. You come in a hoodie that is not clean, it's creased.
Yeah.
And
even your facial presentation,
you
your
just
hair.
Look, you all of a sudden look like a person who's not healthy, a person who is not clean. So you just look messed up.
Yeah.
And so that is very key.
Yeah. So for you to,
if you look, sorry, if you compare developed countries.
Yes.
Take for the countries you mentioned, China, US, Japan, and then Japan.
Yeah.
How do these countries either package the education or the deployment of people?
First of all, these countries have one thing in common. They are keen on soft skills.
They are keen on soft skills.
Which are the vehicle by which you transport hard skills. You could be an engineer.
Yes.
But what if you don't know how to communicate?
Very true.
That means you cannot secure a contract.
Yeah.
And you cannot explain to the employees or the people that you are working with what you want delivered.
Yes.
So you can't get results upwards, you can't get results downwards. So communication might be more important than the engineering.
Yes.
You understand? Organizational planning, being able to organize yourself, to coordinate yourself, that is a very important aspect. Time management is a very important aspect. If you can deliver on time, nobody cares about you. Nobody is interested. You
True.
see? So there are those soft skills that these nations are very keen to train.
Yes.
But in our nation, in our education system, you find that soft skills are not.
The emphasis is not.
The emphasis is not on them.
Yeah.
And those are really key things. So if you have already gotten yourself a degree, you need to engage yourself in a bit of personal development to sharpen your faculties, be it your mind, be it your look, be it your thinking, be it your attitude.
What kind of soft skills would you advise somebody to go for so that you can be profitable and marketable for employment if you have to be
Number
employed?
one, communication.
Yes.
Oh, communication is more than anything. Everyone needs to learn how to communicate and deliver and know that they've delivered what they were saying. Number one. Number two is being able to presentation and sales. Because you've been trained at something.
Yes.
And it is needed out there.
Yes.
But they must be sure. They must be sure that you can deliver. So you must be convincing. You must be able to sell yourself and present yourself. So presentation is a huge package that takes from the way you look, to the way you talk, to the way you relate, and the way you hook the people that you are talking to. That is a very important thing.
Yes.
Organization. You need to organize yourself. Timekeeping. You need to keep time.
Yes.
Team working. You work with people. You don't work
You don't
alone.
work man solo.
Yeah, this idea of saying me, I just find myself, I'm a solo person, I'm an introvert, you know, Fred, I just work well alone, you know. That thing is, you operate in another planet. But if you are on Earth, you are dealing with
you gotta work with people.
You got to work with
and
people.
you have to communicate
with people.
The picture that you have
Yes.
to the people you work with.
Yes. Then you need to shape your attitude. Attitude is such a key factor. The way you look at people, the way you respond to people, the way you treat people, the way you carry yourself. Attitude It is all in your head. It's the attitude that you maintain that dictates a lot of things that you do. So those are faculties that everyone ought to check. We have very many people that are unemployable.
That are unemployable.
They are certified, but not employable.
Yes.
So many of them. And we were having a conversation with you the other day, I remember, about plumbing.
Yes.
And I was sharing with you that if you go home, like in our village, and you find a plumber, you'll probably have to go through 5 before you can find one. Either they have inefficiency issues, they have trust issues, they have attitude issues, they just have a problem that makes work difficult. They just have one issue that makes work difficult. And that's something we need to look. Even as we complain to the government and everyone, we still have so many people that are unemployable, and we still have so many jobs that are looking. They
have certification, but they are not employable.
They are not employable at all. So, and that is a mindset they can work on. If you've tried 1, 2, 3 jobs and you cannot keep, we are talking about you. There is something about you. You would rather ask a coach or a mentor or someone who has been in employment before, or a boss, ask them, what could it be that keeps me losing jobs? What could be the gap? What could be the thing that is making me miss out on opportunity? According to you, what do you see? And they'll tell you either talk too much, you talk arrogant, you dress poorly, you do this. They'll tell you. If you are keen to ask, you will be told. You'll be told exactly what you need to improve on. Then you can improve on that. All right? That is the first stream, personal development stream. Then there's a second stream. And this is going to be the future, the technology stream.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Now, the traditional jobs that we've been conditioned to wait, and we are conditioning our children to wait, are dying.
True.
This
I was being told
reality.
Accountancy, computer programming, because computer coding, because that is already being done by AI.
Yes. So these things, we need to break the walls in our minds. Break the walls in our minds. Technology is replacing a lot of traditional jobs. So even if you are in campus and still hoping for 8 to 5, start breaking that mindset. Nowadays we have people, I have neighbors who work at night. When I'm leaving home is when they are cleaning their car, they are winding up.
He's already made his
money. They are winding up for the day, quote unquote, for the day. So situations are changing. So for most of us who are not employed, I have one request to them. Go back to the village, find that which works. Bring technology into it.
When you say find that which works and then bring technology to it, you mean go out and look for
the traditional businesses, traditional jobs, traditional things that people have been doing before. For example, depending on which region you come from. Let me give an example with the Kamba region, the eastern region. These people are poultry makers. Traditionally, they used to make the pots very much. I haven't seen someone transform that into a technology that can produce pots. While those pots are still in demand.
True.
Even today. That kind of pottery is still in demand. But the people who are there, who are the old women,
they're still using the old methods.
They are still using the old methods. Na wanabeba na mgongo wakileta to karibu na barabara na highway. Someone could go there and just transform the whole business, bring it to light through social media, get a few machines here and there, a few technology to just bring it
so that manufacturing can happen faster,
easier, and you can produce more, and then you can sell more. So
find something that works, then mechanize it. computerize
it. Yes. A lot of it is just technology. Bring technology. Technology could be in terms of sales, in a strategy. It could be the way it is marketed, could be the way it's delivered, it could be the way it is prepared. You know, there's a lot that you can just bring, even few aspects of technology into it, make a lot of difference. There's a friend of mine who is in Kitengela. She does process coffee.
Processed coffee.
She processes coffee with very traditional systems, za kugonga and all that.
Wow, that takes forever.
That she sells at a premium price.
Oh.
At a premium price.
So she
buys the berries,
crushes,
dries them, anazichoma, and then crushes them and comes up with that powder.
Wow, that's amazing.
So jobs are there.
It's just I'm reminded when Hagar was leaving Sarah.
Yes.
She gets into the desert and she doesn't have water.
Yes.
And she starts crying and the baby is crying. Then the angel of the Lord appears and the Bible says, and the angel opened her eyes to see a well.
Yes.
So the well was there.
Right there.
Yes.
But she was blind to it.
Yes.
So I think this message should be see the well. We should convert today's message to
see the well.
Open your eyes and see the well.
Yes.
The well is right next to you.
So opportunities are constantly around you.
Yes, they are.
They are around you everywhere. It's only that you're not seeing them.
You are not seeing them. You've set your mind. It is what you've set your mind to employment.
Yes.
Such that if deployment comes in front of you,
yes,
you will not see it. Literally.
Yes.
You will avoid to see it because your eye is set on employment alone. The other stream you can explore, besides that of technology, is that of passion, gifts, and talent.
Passion, gifts, and talents.
Yes. These are things that are within you.
Yeah, you either have a talent or you don't.
Yes. Everyone has. You have a gift and you have a passion. You have these three things in you.
Talent, gifts, passion.
And passion. According to my book, Self-Discovery for Self-Recovery, I have explained this very well and how you can even maximize it. But talent is your strength.
Yes.
If we take off here and you run better than us, it means you are stronger athletically than all of us.
Yes.
If we go to the kitchen and you cook a meal that Fred appreciates, that he doesn't appreciate the rest, it means you are stronger in that area. Those are strengths as a talent. If you find yourself you have a strength in something, you could convert that into money.
So that sounds good.
Yes. You have a gift. A gift is a line through which God's grace flows through you. So it could be that when you teach, your teaching is different.
Yes.
Very different. You can see that when you teach, it's not like when everyone else teaches. So there is a gift there. That is a line that you could make something out of. Because
you develop it, you brood on it, work on it.
Package it.
Yes.
And then package it. And that's it. The Bible says a gift shall make room for you.
Yes.
All right. Then number 3, we've said passion. There are things you like.
Yes.
Guys like football. And they don't make money from football.
Yet they spend so many hours.
You spend
watching.
so much time.
But not betting. Don't make
betting is
money
not
through.
making money, it's losing money.
We are not telling you bet.
No.
Because you love football, you even know the color of socks that a player in Manchester United is wearing.
Yes.
No.
Let me share a few avenues.
Yes.
There are people who, by their liking of football, may invest in a DSTV, work on places where they show football. So, as they enjoy, they are paid to enjoy football with others. All right? So, you can have a football joint. There are people who have discuss football. Like we have so many presenters nowadays who do football analysis.
Very true.
You can join one of those forums and be paid to analyze what you need.
Like I know of some guys who football is at their fingertips.
Oh yes.
Oh, when he speaks to you about a particular team, tells you including the players who are injured.
Yes.
He knows the ones that are working, the ones that are injured,
relegated,
the ones that are
history.
Yes.
Everything.
He'll give you the history of that.
Of that nini. So make sure that your passion, you take time. You can invest in a coach, you can invest in someone who can help you package it. But your passion is a line through which you can make money. You can make money. Even political analysts make money.
Yes.
You know, so if you love politics, make something out of it.
Yes.
If you love dressing, make something out of fashion.
Yes.
If you love shoes, make something out of what you love. If you love golf, whatever thing that you
Develop
love,
something out of it.
Develop and package it and make an income out of that which you love. All right? Finally, there's one more stream that I'd like us to focus on. And is the stream of trade.
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 Yes.
Trade is simple. Find out where the need is. Find out where the supplier is. Connect the supplier to the customer.
And you have a business deal.
Make something out of the movement of the money.
Yes.
As simple as that. Watu wako na kayaks.
Yes.
In your neighborhood.
Yes.
Fred anatafuta gari. Ako kwa contact list yako.
You
just need to go take photos and share them.
Then send it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if he buys, then there is a share.
True.
Your neighbor is selling a piece of land.
You become the agent.
Be the agent.
Yes.
Become the broker. You know?
And you know the strangest thing is that the moment you set your mind to become that,
yes, opportunities start opening.
They start coming.
Yes, even people start asking.
Yes.
Oh, do you have another piece of land? I have this budget. I see yours is 1.3. Mimi niko na 600. Can I get something?
Yes.
And little by little by little,
you keep on moving.
You get employed.
You deploy yourself.
You deploy yourself.
Yes.
You employ yourself.
Yes.
So, in my view, we need to embrace the idea that it is not a must for us to get a formal employment.
And to get it from the government.
And to get it from the government. We can make money wherever we are.
True.
The second idea I want us to embrace is that your skill can sell, your experience can sell, your passion can sell, your talent can sell, your gift can sell. That is all a good source of employment.
They all can, if properly deployed or employed, can actually be able to sustain
you.
And I probably, in God's thinking, he had intended that man always employs their talents, the things that are innately in them.
In them, yes.
To employ them so that they can be able to fend for themselves.
That was the original plan. And finally, the thing that I would want us to know is that the old things that seems old are actually potential business for every young person. The old things, be it your Guka's medicine, the one you used to go get what leaves and then boil for you when you have a cold.
Yes.
And when you have a bad stomach. And it used to work. You just need to bring technology to it. That's a business, and it can take you very far.
Extract whatever used to make, bring about that healing.
Yes. Go do your basic research. Yes. Find it out. Bring it out. Test it. Then go to KEBS.
True.
That's a product that you can sell. All right.
So
those shows walikuwa wanatengeneza nyungu. That's a business opportunity. Wale wanatengeneza magadi, salt, these things are still business. But they are dying off in the villages because the old people are now passing on. Yes,
and they're not passing on the information to the younger generation.
They wish to.
But the younger generation...
Where are we? We are all in town running after EBN, you know. Where are we, you know? All of us are looking at the same job opportunity. 1,000, 3,000, 10,000 of us looking at one job. But there's a lot of opportunity just if we move out of towns, try to mechanize. We have still Masai, wanachinja ngombe mingi sana. They have a lot of leather. Where does that leather go?
True.
Where is it
you remind me of a story that I was given by a gentleman called who? I'll remember his name. this guy, basically what happened, they got an opportunity.
Yes.
He deployed.
Yes.
And now, through that opportunity, he's able to sustain quite a number of people.
Yes.
And it was something that was there all along. He was telling me, his name is Korir, a coffee farmer.
Yes.
Now a coffee farmer. Left university, went to Mombasa, got employed. He was being paid 80,000. I think I've told you this story.
Yes.
Being paid 80,000. Then one time, I think he received almost 120,000 from home.
Yes.
So he's asked them, what is this money for? And he's told, that's your share.
Yes.
My share of what? Grandpa sold coffee. So from
that,
you get that.
You as a member of family.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I have a farm at home that has coffee.
Yes.
And it's paying me when I'm in Mombasa 120,000. And here I am struggling for 80,000. He decided, the two manual went back home.
Yes.
He's doing now coffee.
Yes.
The second time his coffee crop got him 800,000.
Wow.
Then I think the fourth time he was doing over 15 million shillings.
Yes.
From the same piece of land.
Wow.
Selling coffee.
A mind shift?
Yes.
Shift.
Yes.
To a money shift.
Yeah, he just
mindset shift to a money shift.
Just like that. Changed his mind and immediately
things started working for
Yes.
him. So that is still available for all of us.
Yes.
I just feel like I'm flooded with so many thoughts. There are dishes, Fred. Dishes that are there in our community, in our villages, that have never been brought to light.
Yes.
We keep on taking KFC, you see. But I haven't seen someone who has taken omena and made a KFC out of it. And yet it's a meal that people love.
I don't know that eat that one.
Someone hasn't converted fish.
Yes. Into something else.
Into something that people can buy and in good numbers. You see, we have this meal. Just go to Borana, they have special meals that we don't know about. Go to Mombasa. Oh, yeah, this true. Mama wa Swahili cooks very nice food. But you can't order that food on Glovo. You can't order it anywhere because it's nowhere. It hasn't been taken up and made a business out of it. So I feel like there's a lot of gold
that is still untapped.
That hasn't been even, the surface hasn't been literally scratched.
I remember a lady who's doing what you're talking about, deploying and employing her talents, packaging some things, and making them available in areas where there's an abundance. Take for instance omena. There's abundance of omena in Luo Nyanza. Takes them, packages them beautifully.
Yes.
Beautifully. And then circulates them to the supermarket.
Yes.
And at times marinates fish. Packages it so well.
Yes.
So that by all you need to do is take that piece of fish, fry it, just mild fry, and you're good to go. Yes.
You see, those are the ideas that we need to take. I wish everyone that has a degree would take this thought pattern. We are not concluding anything for you, and we are not denying that you have you are a doctor professionally, you are an engineer professionally. You are. We are not denying that fact, but we are saying when push comes to shove, what can you do?
What can you do with what you have?
With what you have. And how can you make something out of that that can sustain you and at least give 5 or 10 or 20 people,
other people,
an opportunity?
True.
You have a tailor in your neighbor, immediate neighbor is a tailor.
Yes.
They have tailored for 20 years. Since you are a kid, you knew Fred ni tailor. Alikutengenezea uniform, akakutengenezea suti ya wedding, akakutengenezea everything. Why don't you go to the same man, Tell him now I'll be posting these clothes. When I get orders, you deliver
This
the orders.
percentage.
Then this margin is my margin. The other margin is your margin. You haven't become a tailor.
Yes.
But you have given him business. You have given yourself business. And probably,
Yes.
if you bring business, he will employ 5 more people. And in the end,
he will increase the income of the country.
Yes. And in the end, there's a very high chance he will be your partner, yes, or he will leave you the business.
Gabriel.
Yes.
Always, every time we get into this conversation, time
runs.
it looks as though somebody is winding the clock pretty fast.
Yes.
But mindset is everything. I have seen mindset just changing things in my life. I have seen mindset changing things that I thought were impossible.
Impossible for you.
Yes.
Yes.
And all of a sudden they become so possible and quite easily done. So mindset is everything. That's why we decided with Gabriel, we need to be doing series on mindset every Wednesday. Please go to our YouTube, go to Facebook. Every Wednesday, look for all those topics. If you follow them through, oh my goodness.
Will change you.
You'll come and give us a tithe of around 12 million. It is possible. So we thank God. Thank you very much, Gabriel, for that. Please deploy yourself. Whatever gift you have, whatever you've been put in you, put it into practice. Deploy it. See what will come back. So that we reduce the number of unemployed youth. Because that's an entire country that can end up doing very crazy stuff if not properly controlled.
Managed, yes, yes.
All right. With that, we got to bring down the curtains on the show. Do have yourself a lovely morning. Thank you very much, Gabriel.
Most welcome.
Okay.